What's up, everybody? I'm Michael Allen, and this is the Movie Minute. This episode of the Movie Minute, we are talking about Bong Joon Ho's new film, Mickey 17, starring Robert Pattinson and Mark Ruffalo. So, if you're looking for a non-spoiler review from a filmmaker perspective, let's jump on in. Before we jump into Mickey 17, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get all your non-spoiler movie review needs from right here at the Movie Minute. I think a lot of people had Mickey 17 on their most anticipated movies of 2025 list, and it was definitely on my list. I think Bong Joon Ho has just proven himself to be an incredible filmmaker. Obviously, Parasite back in 2019 was absolutely incredible, well deserving of the Oscar if you haven't seen it. It's a must-watch film. And then even before that, Okja, I think, was really good, and as well as Mother, very underrated. I mean, Bong Joon Ho knows how to tell a compelling story, and what he also does well is world building, which we're going to get into in a second. So, Mickey 17 is based on a novel, and so it's an adapted story to the screen, and I knew right away, that this movie was going to be crazy. Without any major spoilers, Mickey 17 surrounds Mickey Barnes, played by Robert Pattinson, who, due to some series of unfortunate life events, has signed up to become what's known as an expendable in the future. And this expendable life is basically a human science project who does crazy things and is able to die and then come back to life through being reprinted by basically a human 3D printer. With that narrative setup, we're obviously going to experience something absolutely bonkers crazy, and I'm gonna say that element of this story does not disappoint. So let's jump in and talk about a few of the things that I liked. First off, let me just say, Bong Joon Ho is an incredible world builder. He did this with Parasite, he did this with Okja, and he does it with Mickey 17, is that the world that this story happens in is very rich. There's a lot of different themes going on in this world. There's religiosity, spirituality, humanitarianism. There's just so many things going on, ethics and morals. Bong Joon Ho loves to tackle a lot of these really hefty subjects, but he's chosen to do this in this really quirky, dark comedy, and it is quite well done from that perspective. I will also say that the cast is incredible in this film. Robert Pattinson is so interesting. He really brings something unique to the table here. It's different than any character he's ever played, and he does it really well. I mean, Yeun is incredible, Mark Ruffalo, Toni, Collette. Overall, this ensemble is so fun. And huge shout out to Naomi, Ackie, who plays Nasha in this film, Robert Pattinson's kind of romantic interest to a certain degree, and she really brings something really great and slightly unhinged to the screen, and I really loved her performance. I will also say that the cinematography and the sound design and the VFX, all of those things were really well done. This world felt very rich from a visual standpoint and an audio standpoint. It just came together really well. I really believed the world that this was all happening in, and that's super important in sci-fi. Like, when you're doing science fiction, you have to really believe the world that you're living in. Even if it's crazy, you have to believe it. And I totally believed it, and that was a definite win for Mickey 17. The number one thing that I don't love about this film that really kind of shaded most of it for me is the inclusion of Mickey Barnes as a narrator character. I think that when you have a character who's kind of omnipotent, looking down, walking the audience through everything that's going on, there are situations where it's needed, but I think a lot of the time it detracts from the overall story and the narrative experience, and I think that's true here. I just don't love hearing from my main character from a narration standpoint. And that kind of leans into the next thing as well, is that the writing just wasn't super strong here, and it affected the performances. I loved the performances and the cast, but you could tell there's a lot of stuff in this movie where the dialogue was just clunky. There was a lot of long scenes with heavy dialogue, and just how it was presented and how it was delivered was really weird. And I don't fault the actors here. I think it just was, they were delivering the lines that are in the script and it just didn't flow. From an entertainment standpoint, this film was very entertaining. I was entertained the majority of the film, and I'd give it a good 7 out of 10 for entertainment. I thought it wasn't perfect. It kind of fell short in some areas, but overall, I was sold for the story. I wanted to know what was going to happen. From a critic standpoint, I think all the technical aspects are really firing on this film, but like I said, I think that the writing really hurts it. I think the script probably hurt this film more than it should have, and I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10 as well for critics. So averaged out, obviously, 7 out of 10 for Mickey 17. So from a badge rating, what are we looking at here? Quick recap on my rating system. We got popcorn bucket, meant you have to go see us in theaters. Couch potato, which is like you can wait till streaming. Then we've got the Oscar bait, which is something that's going to get some award season buzz. And then you have the dumpster fire, which you should stay away from completely. So I think that from a badge rating, Mickey 17 teetered a little bit for me, but I think ultimately I will give it a popcorn bucket. I think the movie is fun, it's original and interesting, and I love movies that try to kind of push the boundaries, and it really does. Like I said in the beginning, Bong Joon Ho really loves to focus on interesting themes, and I think that that's what he does in this film that makes it something that you should go see, because it really pulls at your heart and your brain to kind of consider some of these really big issues within the scope of a sci-fi comedy. And so it kind of brings your walls down and then allows you to kind of think deeply about some of these issues. And I liked that overall. At the end of the day, Mickey 17 is a solid addition to Bong Joon Ho's repertoire. I think that he's proving again and again that he is a storyteller that you want to go see his films. You want to see what he's bringing to the table. You want to explore what he's trying to say. And Mickey 17 was exactly that. While it could have been a bit better in terms of the writing space, it is a solid popcorn bucket for 2025 and a great addition to the sci-fi genre. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe. Would love to have you a part of this community with me. And until next time, everybody, peace out.